Hello, my name is Iman and I'm here today to explain to you how to use the equipment we have in the video room at Mathematics and Statistics School at UNSW. How to use the equipment better to make better videos in terms of quality. So we start with the cameras. The first thing in cameras that you have to consider is what format you want to record. These Canon cameras that we have here in the video room, they record two types of formats. So you can record AVC HD or MP4. MP4, you probably know it already, so it's an easy format, and so when you record it, you can right away copy it from the memory card and like watch it or upload it to YouTube, but it has less quality than like AVCHD. So AVCHD is a better quality, but you cannot watch it or upload it to YouTube. You need to open it in the editing program like Premiere or Final Cut Pro and then convert it to the format like MP4 or MOV to can watch it or upload it to YouTube. So if you want a better quality, I recommend you go with AVC HD. But if the quality is not important and being quick and you don't want to go to you don't want to edit the video, then maybe you record with MP4. So you can select which format you want to record in the menu. And when you turn on the camera, at the beginning it tells you what format the camera is in. Okay, to get a very good image, you need to record manual. Why? Because then you can decide what's happening to your image before you start recording, and then it stays like that. So if you put it on automatic, it starts changing, and the camera doesn't have any brain, so it can do stuff that make the video looks bad. So I recommend highly to shoot in manual format. And when you're shooting in manual format, there are three things that you have to consider, and with adjusting those, you get the best look of your video. So you get the f. F is aperture, is the f-stop, is like how much light you want to come into the camera. You get the shutter speed, and that's actually coming from the analog cameras. It's an equivalent of that for digitals. It's not actually, there is no actual shutter. Is like how many times the sensitive chip in your camera read the lights. But it affects on the look of your camera. And then you get the dB. dB is the sensitivity of the camera to light. So if you have a high dB, then you can record in darker places, but you don't get a good quality image. So if you have a less dB, it's like an ISO for film cameras, if any of you remember those times, that time. So my recommendation for this room that we have and with these lights that we have is this. So it's not very light. It's not like we're shooting under the sun. So you need to really open the aperture. It's all right because when you open the aperture, you lose the depth of field. Depth of field is like how much you can keep in focus, and then before or after that, things go out of focus. But because here usually we just shoot in front of the board and we don't really move forward or backward, so it's fine to like have a very narrow depth of field. It's good to open, so you can put it on 2.4 or 2.8. Closer is better, but 2.4 or 2.8 can does the job here in this slide. The next thing is shutter speed. You don't want to really go with a small number of shutter speed, or in other way to put it, with a longer shutter speed. 50 is the recommended shutter speed. If you are in a very dark atmosphere and you open the aperture and then you still need more light, you can bring down the shutter speed or have a smaller number, like go to 140 130, but I don't recommend to go less than 130 because then you get very blurry movements because the shutter speed is very low. So 50 is the good number. You can go like maybe 1 or 2 steps lower or few steps higher. I don't recommend to go with a really high shutter speed as well, because if you go really with a high shutter speed, you don't get a natural movements. They become very crispy and it's not natural. And the dB is like, okay, so the ideal dB is 0, is like the real sensitivity of your camera to the light. If you bring up this number, you can shoot in a darker space, but remember that this more light that you gain, it doesn't exist, and the camera just adding it, so it's not good. The quality is not good. You can see noise. If you go more than 6 dB, you definitely get noise on your footage. So yeah, 0, 3, if you have to 6, but not more than that. So these numbers that I'm written here is the recommended, the best in terms of light and quality, is the best thing you can get in this room with this camera, with these lights, in this environment. The third most important thing is the focus. So you don't want to shoot something and it be out of focus. Again, it's not a good idea to put it on autofocus, because the camera, when you move in front of the camera or your subject moves, the camera get confused and start to readjusting the focus, and maybe so it goes out of focus in the middle of your shoot. So it's good to like find a spot that the main is the thing you want to film, is the main thing, and just focus it before starting and just leave it on that, on manual. When it's manual, it doesn't change. And you can focus using the ring on the cameras, but before you have to just make sure, because rings, they has to function. You can zoom with them and you can focus, and there's a way you can change it on the back of the camera. There's a switch you can change between those functions. And there's another way to manual focus. It's in the menu. So my recommendation is the main camera that usually the person is talking about. Just focus on the face of the person. Just ask them to stay where they roughly gonna be and be still, and just zoom in on their face. And by the way, for focusing, you can zoom. Like when you zoom in or zoom out, the focus is same for all of these. So if you zoom in, you see more details and you can focus better. So for focusing, usually zoom in on your subject, focus it, leave it on manual on what is it, and zoom back and make the shot as you want. Then white balance. White balance is like you tell your camera how to see colors. And so you tell the camera, okay, this is what you see is the white, and just adjust the rest of the colors according to that. That's a manual white balance that I'm recommending, and you can do that if you go to the menu and then zoom on a white thing on your set and just press the custom white balance. There is some presets there. You tell the camera, my light source is sun, so adjust the colors according to that, or it's a cloudy day. For example, here we have the softbox, we have these fluorescents on the ceiling. So like there are different colors of lights. So it's good to do a customized white balance. So you kind of like adjust your camera for all the lights that exist in the environment. Or you can just go with the presets. And you see the result. The good thing with the digital videography is like you see the result in the LCD. So you can just test things and see what is good for you and leave it like that. Never put things on auto. Something very simple, but crucial is camera level. You need to level your cameras, and to do that you use the bubble on the tripod. So you can put the bubble in the middle, and then the camera is level. The horizontal line is straight. If you want to use two cameras, you need a way to sync these cameras. So when you're editing, it's easier for you, you know. the shot of both camera happening at the same time, so you can easily cut between. To do that, the way to sync these cameras is to use a clapper. So you just clap, and what it does is, like, because it has a sudden sound, you can just find that sound in your editing program and put them together, two cameras, and then two cameras are sound level. It's same case if you're recording sound separately on a sound recording device. So you have the image of the clapper and the sound of the clapper on your sound recorder, and then later you go and sync them in your editing. So if you're recording with two cameras, definitely remember to sync the cameras. And remember, when you stop the camera and start recording again, you have to clap again, because the camera is going to give you two separate clips, so you need to sync those clips separately. If there was any problem with the camera, if your image wasn't as you wanted, you should always go and look at the menu, and it's in English. You can read and find the options that can maybe change accidentally or stuff like that, and fix the image. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is lights. So we got these great lights, LED lights here. They don't generate really heat, and that's great. They're light and they're strong. Light in terms of weight, they're light, and they got the good lights. Just a couple of things to keep in mind when you lighting your scene is to avoid, especially if you are recording a scene on here using the whiteboard, avoid to have a light spots on there, especially where you're gonna write things, because then it's hard to read it and it doesn't look good. It's like the audience always are distracted with their light. The light, you don't want to see them. You just want to light the place, but you don't want people to think you light it. So avoid that, and you can do that with using the shaders of the lights and using the height of it. You can always bounce the light, so you don't need to directly put the lights on the subject. You can bounce it on the wall, on the ceiling, especially here everything is white, so the light bounces very well. You can use the diffusers on the lights. Same thing for the shadows. Like imagine I wanted to write something. If there was a very strong dark shadow of my hand on the board, you couldn't read it. So trying to fix those. Like this setting that I have now I'm filming is kind of the ideal ones. So I've got a key lights coming from my left, and there's a fill light, and it's generally light, and it's not too light. You don't want to overlight your board, so when you write things on it, people cannot see it if it gets really lighted. So you can adjust the intensity of these lights from the back of them. You can use the shader, you can put them further back, you can bounce them. So play with these, take your time and light the scene in a way that it looks good in your camera. And then finally, the last thing, but not the least, is sound. Sound is very important. Imagine I was hearing and doing all of these and you couldn't hear me, or it was very hard for you to hear my sound, and it was awful, it was useless. So sound probably is even more than half of the video, because it's getting lots of information across, so it's very crucial. So for the sound, we're going to use this shotgun mic that we have. It just have to be pointed down to the area that your subject is or happening to get the sound, and get so pointing towards that and get close to it as much as possible. You need to make sure that your camera getting its sound source from the external mic that we have, because these cameras has their own built-in microphones, and they are not generally good microphones, and they are probably far from the subject, further from the subject than these mics, so they pick up lots of noise. So the very simple way to know that is always the person who's shooting, or if you're shooting something, always monitor the sound using headphones. Because if something unexpected happened to the sound, like, I don't know, the power goes off, or there is a annoying noise that you cannot hear it with your ears, but microphone picking up, you can hear all of those stuff. So if you plug a headphone, if you plug headphones to the camera, then so you know that the sound source coming from the microphone or from the built-in mic. If you touch the camera and the sound's coming from a built-in mic, you can hear that. So yeah, just make sure that and there's a switch on the cameras that you have to actually turn on the inputs. So then automatically the built-in microphone goes off. With this shotgun mic, we need power. It needs to get its power from the cameras. So there is again switch to turn on the 48 volt power, monitor your sounds. So, and also for monitoring, you get those levels on the camera. So you don't want them to go right to the end, like then, because then your sound is going to be distorted if the bars touch the end, but you don't want them very low as well. So somewhere in the middle, and you can adjust that with the microphone level on the camera. So we plug this microphone to input 1, channel 1, but the same things needs to go to channel 2 because this camera records stereo, and we want both channels has the same sound, because otherwise, like when you're playing back, your left or right speaker has sound and the other one doesn't have. Just watch it that like both of the channels getting the sound and the level of them are similar, so not one of them is low, the other one is high. You want it to be similar. You know, that's basically everything you need to know and be aware of it. And I hope this video helps you to make a better videos.